So, hello everyone. We are now at Faculty of Informatics, of course, online at Open Science Roadshow stop at Faculty of Informatics. So, for the introduction will be delivered by the Vice Dean Petr Hliněný. So, please, Professor, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, the topic of open science, that's an aspect that touches our scientific life. And it's an aspect of our scientific life in which we expect a big change in the coming years. We don't know what the change will be, but it must be a change from generally restricted access publishing to generally open access publishing. But we still can't imagine what will be the outcome. Hopefully it will be a good outcome. And especially in computer science, we have very good experience with the established preprint server archive, which is a very good established open publishing venue. It's so well established that it's even a reliable proof of prior art in our areas. It's by far the most important preprint server in all of computer science, all of mathematics, and many areas of physics. Yeah, so especially for the open science project, it should be a good source of inspiration and the right way to do this. Yeah, besides archive, we of course have, we are more quite often offered options to open our articles we publish in the journals, but this is a problematic thing because it really requires very high fees to be paid, and by my personal opinion, this is the very wrong way to go, because we get money from public funds for doing research, and we should use them to do research and not to transfer them to commercial publishers. Yeah, and why to do it when we have the archive where we can publish the preliminary versions of our papers as open access. On the other hand, especially in computer science, where we publish more papers in conferences than in journals, we see a good move. The good move is that many top conferences have rapidly shifted in the past years from publishing with Springer, a commercial publisher, to publishing with open access Dagstuhl, which is the good side. And, well, besides this, we also see the very dark side of open science. Those are those various predatory journals, which offer open access publishing, but usually of very little and even no scientific value. So we should be careful when we promote and support open science. We should more or less explicitly exclude these predatory publishers from that. So be careful with this. And besides that, well, open science has also the other side. It's not only openly publishing for open access, free, accessible for everybody of our papers, but also often we have data associated with research, and we want to publish our research data. This is in the usual papers, it's often solved using that, okay, we post it on some web server, we put the web address into our paper. That's generally not so good, because especially if you put it into your home directory, in 5-10 years it may no longer be accessible. Not only if you move to another institution, you are no longer on the previous home server, but also when the institution decides to change the structure of home directories, of user accounts, then it may again become inaccessible. So that's the other side, and this is perhaps the best field for this open science project, to offer a reliable and long-term option to store scientific data. Yeah, in my area, I do theoretical research. I usually don't need anything like that. I don't have much experiences, but I know there are colleagues who really have big data, either as source data for their research or the outcomes of some simulations or other results of the research, and they need to store them. So it would be good to have a reliable source, a reliable server which can store them and offer them, and for long term. And besides, there is also the hardware aspect of this storage of big data, because sometimes the data is not only big, but really huge. And then it cannot even fit on usual home server of your web pages or something like that, but it needs some really good, powerful infrastructure. So that's another place where this project may perhaps help. So that's all I wanted to say, and open science is certainly a good thing to do.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I will just start with the presentation, and I will try to explain these topics that Vajdin Hliněný mentioned. So I will try to explain them within the open science strategy that is being prepared for years 2022 till 2028. So give me just a moment. I will share the screen. Just please, can you see it already?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. So, as was mentioned, this is the Open Science Roadshow stop at Fakulty of Informatics. My name is Jiří Marek. I work as a Open Science Manager at Masarykovy University from 2020. Today, there is also my colleague as Open Science Methodologist for your faculty, Pavel Šmerk, that I am going to explain how this fits to the realization team of this project or this initiative. The goal of this roadshow or this presentation is to briefly introduce you what is happening already in open science at Masarykovy University, just 4 slides about that, and then we will focus mainly on the strategy Open Science 2022-2028. There will be 2 parts of the presentation for the strategy. I will present the concept, what we are planning about the goals, etc. And then there will be interactive part with the use of Slido software. So hopefully it will make this online session a little bit more interactive, because we know it's because we are a lot of in the online space. So we are trying to make it a little bit at least interactive. So let's go for the first topic. Open science and Masarykovy University. Open science at large has many pillars, approximately 8. But Masarykovy University now is focusing mainly on these 2: open access, as was mentioned in the introduction, open access to scholarly publishing, and then we deal with research data that we call this bunch of I would say steps as a FAIR data goals. I will explain more what FAIR data mean in more detail in coming slides. So basically, to set up the discussion, open science at Masarykovy University now means open access of FAIR data. Vajdin mentioned also the infrastructure. I will tackle it a little bit also in the area of FAIR data. The other pillars are, for example, citizen science or open educational resources, or also open source, etc. The realization team at Masarykovy University is divided in 3 parts. You can see the orange one, what is labeled orange. So this is the core team. Then we have advisory board, and then implementation group. So the core team is responsible for putting these ideas forward, to prepare the strategy, to prepare the consultation, etc., prepare this presentation as this roadshow. Then we have advisory board that is helping us with bringing concept that should be mentioned in the strategy, and it is like a consultation body. And then we have implementation group that is like first level support at each faculty. As was already mentioned, your open science methodologist is Mr. or Dr. Pavel Šmerk, and in advisory board for Fakulty Informatics we have Professor Daniel Král. So this is the realization team and how it is developed. What does it mean in nutshell, in numbers? We made more than 20 events where there were present more than 300 persons already. We are preparing the strategy, and we organized first university-wide open science workshop last autumn, and in 2.5 weeks we will have second open science workshop on 9th of June from 10 to 4. What we are really happy about is that we got approximately 60% involved from all parts of the university to consult on help us with building the support for open science. There are approximately 23 methodologists. We already made 14 workshops with them and 17 members of this advisory board. And we had already 10 meetings and we are preparing much more. So this is what happened basically from the 2020, from January 2020 till now. This is probably the most important slide from this first part. We have open access support is already established at every faculty or institute. There are 1 to 3 methodologies per organizational unit. So as was mentioned already, if you have any problem, you can contact your colleague Pavel Schmerk at Faculty of Informatics. From the concept of fair data, now it's the support provided mainly by the core team. That means the team that is mainly based at the Institute of Computer Science, and we are developing tools and support, and also we are teaching our methodologies about the concepts of fair data. We are very happy that we got a implementation grant for testing one of the tools that would help with data management planning for the researchers. So it should bring you the possibility to do less administration stuff when you need to prepare the data management plan. On the part of communication, we started the website openscience.muni.cz, and we are constantly developing it. And on the other hand, we are having this Open Science Roadshow to present you the strategy and what is coming. So this is the first part, and now let's go to the strategy. Strategy, again, in a nutshell, it's for period 2022-2028. Why is that? Because it's connected with the university-wide strategy, and there is a link from the global university strategy to that this document will be created. It is from the point of methodology is divided into 2 parts or 2 documents: strategy document and action plans. We have 1 strategy document, that's obvious, and then we have 2 action plans because it's very dynamic area, and open science actually from 2020 to 2030 will there will be a lot of transformation happening in open access scholarly publishing and also in data. For example, for data is in 2025, there should be a full version of European Open Science Cloud that is already under construction. And in open access scholarly publishing, there are activities, so-called transformative agreements. So that means that there will be there are national negotiation with Elsevier, Springer, and these big publishing houses, how to support the transition to the open access. So this is happening actually right now. There is, for example, big event next week organized by National Technical Library, where all the heads of these European initiatives were invited to present for the rectors of the universities in the Czech Republic what the transition period will look like. So this is really that we are living the transition period right now. Just a little bit about the structure. It's divided in specific goals that are these 2, but as you can see, it's modular. You can add more, for example, citizen science, open source, etc. And there are support actions. So these are the vertical goals, horizontal goals. And now let's go more in a concrete way to talk about the strategy. So what we achieved to create 24 goals of all the strategy, 6 in open access, 5 in fair data, and 13 in support activities. I will go through all of them and try to explain it a little bit more. What does it mean? And we had already several discussions about how many goals should be here, what we should tackle, etc. So for now, it's quite stable, this number of 24. So from the open access goals, there are 2 main target groups, of course, researchers and the university. So for the researchers, we are preparing more user-friendly repository. We already have Masarykovy University repository, but it has to be more connected. For example, for the thematic archives, it was mentioned by Weisdin, for example, archive, etc. That we should work on some sort of automatization and connection with these kind of thematic repositories, because then it can be more seamless function for you as a researcher. On the other hand, there will be also support with the filling the repository by the open science methodologies, so that the topic will be also make it more user-friendly for them. Big topic is the Open Access 5 goal that is towards the Open Access Fund, actually. And this is the idea to create support mechanism, support financial mechanism for open access publishing at Masarykovy University. Don't think about it as just only the sum of money that can be used for the open access fees, but it is a set of procedures that will minimize the paying, for example, of the fees, or it will help, for example, to develop the local open access journals and open local, for example, publishing. As Weisdin mentioned, that's not a good way to transfer research money to the commercial publishers. There is a huge topic also that Masarykovy University is already paying tens of millions in electronic information resources, but usually it's paid by the libraries or by another administrative unit, and the researcher is not seeing this so on everyday basis. But now with open access, actually, we really noted this like negative impact that the publishers started to ask for money directly from the researchers. And because we are now living in this transition period, so it's not everything set in a good way, you know. And we would like to go forward with this strategy. And for example, we are looking at the national level. For example, our colleague is present in the expert body that should be helping the set the national negotiation with the foreign or the big publishers, you know. So basically, how you can imagine this transition, that in 2025, 26, that you are not longer, you don't need to take care about this open access thing, because it will be already in the agreements with the national government, I would say. So this is the fund is closely connected to the better management of electronic resources in Open Access 6. This is the last goal on this slide. And for the university, what does it mean? That all publication or all the knowledge of Masarykovy University should be archived in the repository, but that doesn't mean that it will be retroactive. So it will be from this when the obligation will be in place. That's one thing. And second thing, it's not necessary that the scientist do it himself. There will be help from the open science methodologies. On the other hand, very important aspect of open access is visibility of research. So there in open access 2, we are going to build the support to that it makes sense for you to publish in open access. Part of this support, of course, will be the I would say fight against the predatory journals, because this is another negative aspect that basically the good idea of open access put in a little bit bad position. The last goal, Open Access 4, it's about publishing and development. Munipress, that's the University Publishing Institute or organizational unit. And we are looking to support, on the one hand, support the technical measures like open journals system and open monograph, for example, to publishing also books. And on the other hand is to look how these already 56 open access platinum journals that we have on at Masarykovy University works, and try to find some sort of support for them. Now about the FAIR data goals. again is divided to research for researchers, for university. For researchers, the most visible thing will be that there will be created research data repository. That doesn't mean that will be only institutional one. Actually, now there is like meetings with Ministry of Education, and there is a new program coming called OPEAC, and this OPEAC will be used for the implementation of European Open Science Cloud practices in the Czech Republic. So there is an idea to create a national thematically based infrastructure that will help researchers with data. So, and we should be connected to this area. So for that reason, we need this goal to prepare it on the side of Masaryk University. Another thing that should help you as a researchers is this DMP tools. So we should help you with the creating data management plans, and not only methodologically, but we are now starting to test the tool that should help you in machine readable way to help you create these data management plans that you can submit to the projects office of your grants. So this is for the researchers. For university, there is a new legislation coming, the change of the law 130/2002 call for, that's basically the law for research funding in the Czech Republic. And yeah, it has like there's the law, and then you have the connecting documents to this law, and there is written that the data will be also the result of the scientific effort. You know, for now it is not. You know, from the legal point of view. So there is an idea that data will be, or metadata about data will be also submitted to the RIF that we have now for publications. That's the national system for evidence of publication. So there will be also national system for evidence of data, or actually metadata, and where the data are stored. So we have to prepare university for that, again, to make a seamless service for you as a researchers. In the FDE5, there is the infrastructure part, there is the goal to connect it well to the thematic repositories that exist already in the data area. And Vaidin also mentioned the long-term preservation of this of data in the national infrastructure that should be built. So there are already plans to build these kind of long-term preservation services. Of course, this is what university can add to this effort, you know, help them connect it to the local level. But this strategy is not about like building the infrastructure, but it is closely linked to it, and it should bring the connection, you know, from the university level. On the last thing is the coordinated university approach in fair data, because open access is already here for 10 years, at least at Masaryk University, because in 2010 there was the signature of Berlin Declaration, and the area is quite known. You know, we know the negative impacts like the financing, predatory journals. We know already the positive impact, that we have repository, that some research areas are already almost fully open access, that researchers really support these actions. But at area of data, it is not for now. It's quite a new topic for Masaryk University. So for that reason, we incorporated here also this global goal of creating the coordinated university approach. It is also closely linked. There is a new strategy of big research infrastructure at Masaryk University. So we are in cooperation with the team also to make it as efficient as possible together, because open science and research infrastructures are closely linked. And now about the support actions for researchers. And just one moment, I haven't mentioned what the FAIR means. Probably at Fakultě Informatics you probably know it, but I will mention it. FAIR means the make data findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. So that means that, if I sum it up, all data, if makes sense, can be fair, and but not all data can be open. You know, that means, for example, that data with the personal data from some subjects, for example, can be so-called verified, but it's not possible to make them open because there are the legal barriers. Fair principles are basically 15 like tips and like methodology recommendation how you should like label data, what you should look at it, for example, from the legal point or technical point, that are that these data are the best. They have the possibility to be reused as much as possible, because these like open initiatives are usually not about only opening, but the main goal is to making reuse of these data and build up on the previous research. So this is about fair data. Support actions, again, two parts for the researchers. The most visible part from all the strategy will be open science services. I will mention it in the next slide in more detail. That means that, for example, if you need to look for open access journal, or you need to help with a data management plan, or you need to check if this is a predatory journal or not. So these are the type of services that the open science initiative or project will bring. On the other hand, there are a lot of I would say myths, and also a lot of misunderstanding in the area of open access and open science in general. So for that reason, we are prepared to make like a seminar, for example, for research team, or for individual researchers also. And we are going to have some communication campaign that will explain the development of the strategy and development of the new conditions, for example, from the European and national level. What's also important in OS1, this is the third box on the slide. So we are not doing it just to make papers. I would say the data management plan is a paper that you should submit to the grant, you know. But we would like to build the support that we would explain that data management planning is internal part of creating the projects, and it is good to do that, you know, for the researchers. So this is our goal with the support. And then there will be university open science processes. That was also mentioned, and we discussed it also when we presented this strategy to the faculty government level. There will be also change and development of internal processes that, for example, you can just place into your grant application, and it will help you in these areas. Because, for example, in Horizon Europe, there is already, it's not only open science after you get the grant and you have to make open access publishing or put some open data, you know, to the repository, but also now it's becoming the integral part from the grant application. So these things we take quite seriously, and we would like to help researchers with that. For the university, it's about standards, org ID, DOI, data site, etc. National and international cooperation. We are quite interlinked with colleagues from another universities that are developing also these strategies. So we are in close contact and sharing practice. And also we have to be aware of the international and European, mainly European practice. The last block is about highly skilled research support administration. This is connected, for example, for the position of data stewards, that usually these kind of professions are scarce for now in the Czech Republic. But, for example, from the national funding, there is already prepared funding for developing these human resources also, because there should be, as much as we invest in infrastructure, so we have to invest also to the people that are able to help with this infrastructure for the scientists. Okay, so this is it. Basically, these are the 24 goals. Here, the slide about open science services, as I already mentioned, in open access can be recommendation of journal, analysis of legal conditions, processing of open access fund application. On the other hand, in data is about these tools and helping with the data management. And in general, it's a support from the legal, technical, and methodological part. And why we are talking about services, because we don't take open science as only a policy. It was for a long time just a policy, you know, but we now take it as a new infrastructure of scientific services. And to show you how it can work in future, actually from next year. So there will be, we are thinking about this process or services not from the point of publications, but mainly from the point of data. So there will be these steps during the research life cycle, and at each of these steps there should be several services that you can use for your project. You know, you don't have to use everything. You have to just you can only pick the ones that are interesting for you. For example, in the first one is finding proper resources. In data creation is, for example, legal help with using external data sets. For example, more and more at the Faculty of Economics, they are using external databases from public sector, so it is possible to use it or not. So these are the topics that we can discuss together. There is also, for example, data storage, help you find proper thematic repositories if you have problems with that, for example, or in the data reuse, for example, to make the tool for evidence of your data for the purpose of evaluations of science. So this is our how we imagine that these services will work in future with the strategy. It was mentioned now, like several concepts in more detail. It was mentioned the financing of open access. There is a need for planning article processing charges as eligible cost, but only when it's necessary and when it's eligible. So this is one of the parts of the financial mechanism that I was talking about. Then there is open access fund at Masarykovy University that will be established. And open access via green open access, you already or Vice did mention already the conferences and archive.org. So I would say that Faculty of Informatics is quite advanced in this area of open access, and probably is one of the front runners at the university. So this is how we are looking at the financing to, on one hand, minimize the need for financing. On the other hand, create the source of last help, I would say, if you are not possible to fund it from any other part. So we are looking to the options how to promote excellent research from within this strategy. Then I was already mentioning that there are the European open science conditions in Horizon Europe. That is the next program after Horizon 2020. These conditions are quite strict. Actually, that means that you can be also penalized by not complying with the open science conditions. And these conditions are because of some legal the new, it's called Directive of Open Data that was approved by the European Union in 2019. So there is need for implementation of these conditions, not in such a strict way, but some of them at national grant schemes, you know. So basically what we are doing, again, for researchers, is that we are talking with these grant holders, and we are trying to help you for adaptation for these new conditions. So in 2-3 years, we will have the open science conditions also in Thatcher, and there are already some programs, for example, in Thatcher Kappa that already has basically the Horizon 2020 conditions incorporated. One question maybe for the later discussion. What about open source as a part of open science strategy? Open source is definitely one of the pillars. I have frankly to say that I'm not sure if there is any open source strategy at the Masaryk University or at your faculty. So maybe it would be nice to discuss this kind of topic, because there are a new trend of creating kind of OSPO centers, means open source project program offices, and maybe it could be interesting in coming years also for our university. So this is a question mainly for you. And last 3 slides. As was mentioned, we would like to bring you from making data management plans to really enable the data management planning, to make it something like a managerial tool for you, this kind of process. This means about data storage and long-term preservation planning. It is about the support of this data stewardship. There is idea that it will be created several positions of data stewards, like from the university level as a support, for example, for the not so data intensive areas. And then we will help these front runners with big data, etc., to, for example, find, for example, sufficient funding, or work with them to get it into the project proposal, etc. In the there will be data as a scientific result, and so we have to help to make it again as seamless as possible. About APC charges, I've been already talking, and what's important also is that we are now in talks with Center for Transfer of Technology, and we are discussing where the open is and where the commercialization is, because the European trend is that these kind of processes are synergic and not antagonistic. So we are working on agreement with the Center of Transfer of Technology how we should like live next to each other, I would say, and how to cooperate in future. So to deliver these like services and the strategy in life, there will be so-called 5+1 obligation. There is they are not from at 1 year, and important thing is that it's not anything like new that we would like we invented, but it's basically to help us to adapt for the new conditions. So there is a idea for obligation of APC planning in project as eligible cost, where it is possible and where it is necessary. That means necessary is not the status where it is not necessary is if you are planning to, for example, publish your articles in green open access. So you don't need to pay APC nowhere. So this is, for example, the case. Second thing, in 2023, it's to start the storage and computing capacities planning, again, where it is necessary, because there is difference if you need for your project 5 GB of space or you need 10 petabytes, and we already have some sort of big data infrastructure at Masaryk University. So again, this is where it is necessary. This one condition. In 2023, there will be also the support and development of this data management planning as a management, I would say, tool. There should be 2 parts of this planning of the research results. One, pre-grant, when you are submitting the grant, but it should be very easy and just to find what kind of results you are going to have to basically help you prevent some sort of problems, for example, in the end of the project. And then, of course, when you get the project, usually there will be the classical data management plan, as you are, some of you used from Horizon 2020. That doesn't mean that if you don't need data management plan because you don't deal with data, so this means basically, hey, we are not dealing with data, it's done. That doesn't mean that you have to invent some administrative stuff just to fill the form, So I would like to stress this out. 2024, it's about archiving the publication in internal part of MUNI repository, as was already mentioned. It's not only, it can be done by a researcher, but if he doesn't want, so it will be there will be support from the open science methodologists. In 2024 also, we are expecting the evidence of metadata of research data to national level will be present. So this is it. And the +1 obligation is if there will be the publication obligation in the principle as open as possible, as close as necessary. So this will depend on institute or faculty. For example, economic faculty or Faculty of Economics already updated internal repository norm that is already obligation for them, but we know that many research areas are different, so for that reason this will be up to faculties as it is now. Okay, and last slide, strategy preparation in 2021. So basically, in 2020, we established the team, we make analysis and basically develop the standard support for open access, as was mentioned. And now, in the start of this year, we created this draft of the strategy, and now we are creating action plan, and we are looking also on financial aspects of all this process. That is very important, how this will be developed. Then we are doing this Open Science Roadshow to disseminate the knowledge about this these coming steps among researchers at Masarykovy University. During summer, we are going to prepare support documents and finalize the analysis, and we will have the final strategy by the autumn 2021 and hopefully approved by the end of 2021. Okay. So that's it basically, and now I have for you a Slido warm up, I would say. So I will send you a link to the the chat, and we can start discussing the topics in more detail via Slido. But I will ask for now, do you have any question? For now, we have time for 1 to 2 questions. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Soika.
Yeah, I do have a question. Which place, if any, will library department in this endeavor? Up to now, the libraries are the key holders or key departments for holding library assets. And from the sustainability point of view, I think that instead of making new open access or open science department or position, it makes sense to foster the digital librarians at faculties so that they are capable of providing these kind of services. And it's not clear to me to which extent the projected changes will divide between science department, information system technicians, and librarians.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Actually, in the implementation group, there are a variety from librarians to the representatives of departments of support of science. So this is quite, it's not a homogeneous group, you know, that we are creating new positions. We basically, when we started with the Open Science project, so we asked among mainly in libraries actually who wants to be involved in that, and we have many librarians already in the in the group. And because we are based in the Institute of Computer Science, where the kids Muni is already present, so we are constantly giving the other librarians that are not involved directly now in the open science, so we are giving information about the project. So basically librarians are, or libraries of our faculties are backbone of this infrastructure. So we really think with them and work with several of them already. Sorry, I can hear you. You are muted.
Yeah, glad to hear that. As I think from sustainability point of view, it's the best strategy to involve libraries at the faculties and make them digital aware stakeholders in the endeavor.
Yeah, definitely, and there is much work in the area of data stewardship, because librarians usually are not so much there is not so much development of education that is connected with the data stewardship, you know.
Yeah.
And there is a, I would say, a huge gap. Also, we are discussing on the national level that there was open access initiative at AKVŠ, Akademické knihovny vysokých škol. Sorry, I can't translate it now. And they said, hey, we would like to deal with open access, and we are looking what is happening in the data, but we need support, you know, from these data stewards, you know. So this is basically connected again to the, as I mentioned, Ministry of Education, funding, human resources to deal with the research data infrastructures and helping all these digital skills developed in the Czech Republic. Thank you. So thank you very much for the question. And now, please, if you can click on the link in the chat, that we will go to the to Slido. I will share it on the screen also. Just give me a moment. Yeah. So when you enter the Slido, there are two things: question and answers on the left, and pools on the right, on the top of the screen. So please click on the pools, and you should see this kind of question: what are the most important parts of the strategy for you? So does anyone has a technical problem? Probably not. So please, I would like to do this a little bit interactive. I will deal with topics of the strategy that was presented already. Then we will deal with open access and fair data topics, like to get a little bit feedback from you on these areas. So please, what do you think that are the most important parts of the strategy for you? Just write 1-2 words what you have heard. Thank you very much. So hopefully it works, and I will comment our repository. Thank you. Perfect. Yeah, this is definitely important part. We know that for now at Masarykovy University repository, there are up to 10% of all the publications that are produced at the university. So this is kind of thing that we would like to support, that we have much more at the repository. Connection with archive, it's important, and at the advisory board there is a lot of pressure to make this as automatic as possible, because we have a lot of the services already has APIs, you know, and our repositories should be some sort of interconnected and permanent URLs, like the persistent identifiers. So these are we have DOI. We are now thinking about creating data site for the data. There should be probably a national consortium about it, and we should be part of that. So definitely this is one of the topics, because, for example, we got information from psychology department and Faculty of Social Science that there are many journals that are not accepting the manuscript without the underlining data already. So that means that you have to have the possibility how to store the data and then how to like link them. Faculty library involvements, of course, I think that I have already mentioned that. Thank you for that, and they are the backbone of that. APC handling policy, the idea is to promote, and also in the advisory board there is a lot of pressure to make as green as possible, as gold as necessary. So not to put like more and more money in the publishing sector, but of course this goes several areas together. The transformation agreements on national level, possibilities of different research area to publish in green open access, and and then the APC planning from the for the project. So this kind of stuff is going together. Sustainability and digital stewardship. Yes, we already have several workshops for our open science methodologists, and we are preparing also a small course for now about how to handle data and how to develop these skills. This is one thing, but there should be we read one study for Netherlands actually, where they were dealing that for the country such as Netherlands that is quite research intensive, and then they have 17 million inhabitants, so it's approximately a need of 1,000 data stewards per the country. If you look at it at the Czech Republic, so we have approximately 400 or 500 of these people needed in the Czech Republic. For now, we are approximately at the number of 20, I would say, in whole country. So this is important part of the education development also, and sustainability. Hopefully, it will be done with the strategy. On the other hand, what are the less important parts of the strategy for you? APCs, yeah. I would say that your faculty is quite special because you are really used to publish open access in these archives and so on. So there is for example, strong. Yes, we see it from several parts of the university that there is a strong feeling against paying these APCs and handling it at all. Okay, so APCs. Okay, let's move to the next one. Have you found in the open science strategy what you have been looking for? And put yes, no, what do you think? And this is the discussion. Okay, so please, if you can click yes, if yes or no.
It's difficult to say, well, because I do not, I'm not looking for anything because my research doesn't need it. I have archive and that's all I need.
Yeah, understand.
So I cannot vote yes, cannot vote no.
Okay, so let's skip
and
it
the
for
others,
the next.
They may have other.
Yeah. Let's keep it for the next question. Important points for the implementation of the strategy that shouldn't be missed. Actually, it's similar to the first question, but from another point of view. Write it in your words, as you feel it. This was the first question was for the strategy directly, but now write it as you feel it. Maybe, yeah, legal aspects. Thank you. For example, this is probably the question for asking, and what about the open source? Is there need for any strategy in that support? I'm not sure, for example, myself, how you deal with that, for example, at Faculty of Informatics. So if you can comment about that. And legal aspects will be part of the service. Definitely, it's important. What we are now doing is that we have to, in the official structure of the positions in the open science. So we have to put only that we are also able to answer this question and how we will be linked to the faculty lawyers. That's it. Okay, so let's move. Where the goals of the strategy present in an easy to understand way, and be sincere if it was okay or not. Thank you. Okay, thank you. And are you able to imagine how the strategy will affect your everyday research practice? This is probably also connected from the previous comment that maybe you don't need it for your type of research. So the ones who need that, do you able to imagine that? No, okay. Okay, perfect. So now let's move to the area of open access. What's your motivation to publish in open access? Usually there is a better citation, visibility of research, etc. Or better visibility, perfect. It's fast, yes. It's faster, and for these domains where the really good repositories are already in place, this is very good point. Okay, perfect. What about the concerns about publishing in open access? It was mentioned predatory journals, financing, etc. Are there any others? Or maybe the legal aspect? Forced to expensive ways. Yes, that's the problem. Of course, but as I mentioned already, so this should be made better in these transformative agreements. And imagine the transformative agreement that there will be sum of money that will be paid to, I don't know, Elsevier, Springer, Wiley, etc. And you will get the access to the electronic information resources plus everything that you published from Masarykovy University in this publisher that will be part of the agreement. So you will have you will make possible open access for free. So that's what we are heading in coming years. So we are not sure when it will be exactly, but this is the goal of this transformative agreement. We have already some so-called open access voucher at the university, but it is like first examples. For example, for Taylor Francis, Masarykovy University got 11 of these vouchers. You know that it's basically nothing. You know, it's already out and it's May. But in coming years, it should be better and better, and for many more publishing possibilities. Okay, next one. Have you ever had any problems with open access within your project? Only yes, no. Okay, so we can skip this. This one. Now about data. What's your motivation for sharing research data? It's again the visibility, or do you see any other benefits? Checking reproducibility. Okay. We have there was quite interesting comments at other faculties about that you can find by that partners for collaboration, for example, from businesses. This was kind of, it definitely can help if the business knows what you are doing, then usually they need the knowledge, of these individuals to work with that. But probably you have quite a vivid cooperation with businesses at Faculty of Informatics. So this could also help. Okay, then 2 questions. Now it's about what's your concern about sharing research data, and the next question will be what's your concern about managing research data. So now it's about sharing. So what's your concerns if you put your data out? There is usually mentioned, for example, disinterpretation or stealing of the ideas, etc. Sustainability cost, understand that you are not be able to share it for in the long-term perspective. Yeah, we have heard that already, and 2 faculties. So definitely we are the how to manage it, and at the institutional level, it's to be part of this new national infrastructure that should be built in coming years. Okay, and about the managing, for example, that you don't have, you need these data stewards, or you need help with the data management plan, or you need some internal processes that are missing. Sustainability cost again. Okay. Understand. So let's move to the next. Have you ever heard about data management planning before this presentation? Yes. Yeah. No. Okay. Actually, it's quite simple. Data management plan is the document. Planning is the process. But what's kind of new, that already the people that invented these data management plans at the European level are saying, oh, it's not about the plan, it's about the process. So as I already mentioned, we will try to build it in this new perspective. Have you ever heard about FAIR principles before this presentation? I suppose that probably yes, at Faculty of Informatics. No, okay. So basically, there is a problem when you say open data in research. So you usually, a lot of researchers are scared, So for that reason, also the European Open Science Cloud is based on FAIR data. That means that the researcher decides if this is going to be open or not, if he is not bound with some another agreements. But these are about FAIR principles. So this is it. Thank you. Do you work with sensitive or personal data? Just yes, no question. Yeah, this is, for example, we had already a workshop about anonymization of data from the point of, I would say, life sciences, and we will add another topics to this area. So if you are interested in this kind of area, so you can ask also our support. But of course, I can clearly understand that you have many experts at your own faculty with that. This is mainly that many the other faculties are not quite advanced in this area. Does your team use online workspaces for data sharing with each other? Yeah, that's probably quite obvious at your faculty. But what you use it if you are sharing the data? Because we made a analysis of how the management of data is done at Masarykovy University, and lot of times we see that, for example, data are shared via email or via USB sticks, etc. Git. Okay, yeah, this is quite special. GitLab group server. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you are quite advanced, as was mentioned. Do you know what is ORCID? Or ORCID? Sorry. Yeah. Perfect. So open research and contributor identifiers. It's a personal identifier that will be used more and more at our university, and also at national area, because there was a recommendation from RVVI, Rada vlády pro vědu, výzkum, inovace, the Research Council of Czech Republic, last autumn, that researchers should implement this or use these personal identifiers in their research project.
Now, I didn't think that the C has some meaning there. That the letter C in ORCID has some meaning.
Yeah, understand.
Because that's the least important, I think.
Okay, thank you. So, and we have a new internal document at Masarykovy University that who has ORCID, so it or ORCID, it should be put in the ES-Muni system when you are, for example, managing your publications. So be aware of that. It's quite new. We will make also a campaign about it, and you can ask our team if you have any problems with that. Now, have you already seen a completed data management plan? Because usually this is the question, from the Pani Kolombova question, because a lot of people are talking about it, but nobody has seen it actually, or almost nobody. Yeah. The data management plan should be a process, from whole the research cycle, but usually it, as I mentioned several times, it's already the document for now. So we are trying to change this approach. And for example, we helped with I think 5, 6, or 7 data management plans already. Important thing is that if researchers want to help with data management planning, or data management, we can help them, but it has to be cooperation, because we are not experts in the data that should be managed. So it's not possible to think about this data management plans that there will be someone who will make it for you. You always have to give at least some information what the data will look like in the project. I think that this is quite obvious. And last 3 questions. What would you do with the data once are published in paper? We usually get the second one. I would keep them on my computer or flash disk. And this is also connected to the long-term preservation that it should be done. Yeah. There is also a big question with the long-term preservation, which kind of data will be stored, because you can't store everything. So this will be also quite an issue. Okay. Almost. Last question. Do you have set up a folder structure or naming convention in your team data storage, which you have to follow all your colleagues? This is the question regarding the metadata and actually preparation for the FAIR principles. Yeah. So good. Usually there are no such rules in many of the teams that were present, for example, to this presentation. So again, quite advancing that. So last question: was this presentation useful for you? Have you get any new information? Okay, so I will stop now sharing the Slido. Thank you for that. And just one more thing I will add from the previous presentation, and then we will be like open for the discussion. Okay, give me a moment. Okay. So last thing is that we are now starting open access analysis at Masarykovy University. That means that in the last autumn, we were making the analysis of research data management. Many universities in the Czech Republic were doing the analysis of open access, and we didn't want to jeopardize the data analysis, so we didn't do it. So now it will be open, this questionnaire, till 30th of June. So I will send you the link in the chat. So if you can fill it or send it to your colleagues, it will be great. But of course, it is not obligatory. Just it will help us to make the support better. So with that respect, I would like to thank you very much for the attention. I will stop sharing it, send the link, and now if you have any questions regarding that, or if you have any comments, I would be more than happy to answer it. Okay, Mr. Strelak is leaving, so bye-bye. Oh, he's already not here. Oh, sorry, I sent the wrong link. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Just a moment. Yeah, this one. This is the form. Okay, so do you have any question or comments? Or I would be really happy if you can comment at least a little bit about the open source, how you are dealing with it at the Faculty of Informatics. It would be quite useful for us. Thank you.
We at least applied computer scientists use Git and GitHub as a way of communication and overleaf as a way of preparation of papers and sending them to publication. So we do have standard, at least in informatics, means of cooperation in digital sphere. What I would say we would lack is the sustainability support at library. Yeah, because for instance, I have data for 20 years of digital movies of festival, and I do not want to take the burden of archiving it forever, and I would love to have it to save somewhere and leave others to take care of it in long term. So I'm missing this kind of service, so that I am free for new things and let the archiving problems and conversions and DOI working and persistent pointers to some other other people. So that's what I'm missing now.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Actually, that means that you have a lot of data. Actually, a lot of it can be a very nice database if I understand it well, right?
Yeah,
that can be used for others, for example, also.
Yes, I currently have a mirroring to tapes via Institute of Computer Science for some parts of data, but it in itself has its price, as we have to maintain that on a yearly basis, argue for having the data stored, etc. So, and additionally, our group working with big data, like indexing the whole archive or something like that, we need the holdings on a larger scale, so that groups we cooperate with are able to reproduce our search engines and our experiments. So that's kind of burden that I would love to share with somebody at the university.
Understand. Thank you for that. We are actually looking for examples of kind of like useful and interesting databases that are already existing at the university. We found several of them, so I will put a note there, and I will get in contact with you, and we will talk about. Of course, I can't promise you now the long-term preservation, because we are now building the strategy and the services and what's going to happen in the national level. But we will. I will note it to this. We call it. Datové perly, I would say. So we are looking for examples of good practice at the university. So I will put in contact with you, and we can discuss that.
Yeah. Actually, I am in contact with Mirek Bartošek closely, and there are several projects we cooperate with in digital libraries, namely the Czech Digital Mathematical Library and the European Mathematical Digital Library, which are projects that lasts for 15 years in the case of Czech Digital Mathematical Library and 10 years in the case of European Digital Mathematical Library, where the sustainability is secured, but it's not for free. You know, it's
understand.
Rather hard endeavor, as nobody wants to pay just for taking the thing running and keeping the services that were developed a long time ago. So that's kind of
from what I can tell you from the point of that I was present for 3 meetings at the Ministry of Education with the development of this OPEAC. So there is quite a good idea how to do it, like on the national level and connected to the university. So it's under discussion for this year, and from the next year there should start the funding and building these kind of blocks. You know, so I would say that I would be quite positive that in coming years this issue will be tackled also. This is what I can tell you from my information for now. And so thank you very much for the comment. Thank you for that.
Welcome.
Any other comments? So if not, so I would like to thank you very much for the attention. I would like to thank Professor Hliněný for the introduction and for being with us all the time. We recorded this video, so we will put it at our webpage, and you can share it with the colleagues from if they were not able to come to this session. And please, if you can share the questionnaire, it would be great. And on the 9th of June, there will be next like university-wide workshop. We got two foreign speakers, one from Belgium, and actually both working in Belgium, but one from the European Commission. And the lady will talk about the conditions of Horizon Europe from the practical point of view. She is an officer, not like high policy level, but the officer that is dealing with that on everyday practice. And second thing is that we will have an example how University of Ghent, that's usually the it's very good examples of open science strategy, is dealing with that at their university, so you can compare it. The program will be from 10 to 16, but you can join, for example, only for 30 minutes for special part. It will be at our website actually today, so you can check it. So thank you very much once again, and see you at any other event.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.